My name is Howard Berry. My son Josh was one of the victims from the first Fort Hood shooting. The shooting took place on November the 5th, 2009. Nidal Hasan murdered 13 and he wounded 32. You won't find Staff Sergeant Josh Berry listed among the killed or the wounded. He didn't exist. The Army forgot about him. We're getting ready to elect a new president next year. And I'm asking questions of each and every candidate that feels that they have what it takes to be the next commander-in-chief. I've got some questions I'd like to ask. I'd like to ask Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, do you think that the Fort Hood shooting was treated correctly? Do you think that calling that a random act of violence in the workplace did justice to the people that were involved in it? Do you think that later transforming that definition into a case of violent homegrown extremism, do you think that gave the families of the fallen closure? I don't. I'll forever have an empty chair at my table, sir. I'd also like to know what your position is on veteran suicide. My son became one of the 23 a day on February the 13th of 2013. Since his death, I've written all members of Congress. I wrote you a letter March of 2013. I visited your office in February of 2014 soliciting support for the Fort Hood victims and their families. I never got a response from the letter. I got no support from you when it came to standing up for these folks. And I don't understand, sir. I really don't. Say that you're a strong advocate for veterans and veterans' rights and support the troops and no soldier left behind. What are your thoughts on that, Senator? No soldier left behind. My son was left behind. Support the troops? We don't support the troops. That's the truth. What about the VA? We continue to fund an agency that is so broken. How many men and women die waiting for help that they never get? How many of our vets that volunteered to defend our freedom and deployed multiple times? They wrote that blank check and they're not getting what they need. They get put off, we have trouble getting appointments or doctors or the service you need, or you can't take your medication. Just the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress and TBI patients alone. Are they really getting what they need? And I don't think they are, sir. I'd like to know what you think about that. We can do a better job. 23 a day. I don't know if you're okay with that. If it keeps you up at night, it does. One is too many. We're not taking care of these folks. And I honestly believe, Senator, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Where do you think that veterans ought to rank, for the folks standing in line in our country that need help? There's a lot of people that are hurting, and I see that you address a lot of those issues. I'd like to see hear what you think about the veterans. I think they ought to be first, sir. I think they ought to be standing in line before all others. After all, these folks stood up and they volunteered. They volunteered to protect our freedoms. I'd like to know what you think about that, Senator. Our military, is in a shambles at this point, and we don't treat those that need the help the most. Buried another soldier on Friday, and I don't understand, sir. We just continue to do the same thing over and over again. I contacted your campaign. I've tried to reach out to get some folks to respond to see what you really think about this, because see, I haven't made my mind up. If you want to be the next commander-in-chief of this great country, then these are some of the questions, that just a simple old father of a dead soldier would like to have answered. I came to D.C. and I went to every single office in the Senate, and Senator Sanders, I was treated with the utmost indifference and at times discourtesy. And I don't understand. I really don't. I wish this were brought up in a debate. I hope that you could do that. If you have any input, bring it up in a debate. The American people need to know, or the media isn't going to put it out there. And if you're a true champion and you believe in our country and our strong military and the things that are necessary to go ahead and not only preserve it, but to honor those that are served, and please answer my questions. God bless. I miss my son.